on the panel, I don't think I've ever discussed this with everybody. When was the first time you realized that the Democratic Party or the Republican Party were not the only two choices? Like, when did you first realize that? So I'm gonna go to Bendon first.
Like middle school and like geography class or
So you
whatever,
found out.
whatever class that was that talked
So
about
it was
parties.
in class that you found out that there was other choices.
Yeah.
Okay.
The difference
John.
is whether or not how many people talk about three
Yeah.
parties.
John.
Say probably like 2002 when I started to learn a little bit more about politics. As you know, like when we grow in a Latino household, if we don't get too much into politics, like I remember my mama used to tell me how great Bill Clinton was, and I started reading about it. It's like, okay, he was not that great. Once I started getting into politics, I realized all the different parties that we have. But
I see Rafael Rodriguez said 1992 Ross Perot, so he said, "Yeah, I'm old." That's funny. Carlito.
Yeah, kind of like Bedon in school. I learned about the other parties before the parties that we have now, and also how the parties realigned, and they're now how they used to be. But the first time, like fellow old man Raphael said, Ross Perot was the first like viable looking candidate that I saw on a large scale.
Oh wow, okay. Terence.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of always knew from a young age, but I kind of discounted it so quickly because I was so bought into the kind of idea that there only really are these two options, and anything else is problematic to cast your vote for. And so, like, taking the question kind of another way, I think when I actually started to consider, well, maybe there's an opportunity for me to think about strategically or in terms of my my project as an actor in the political system, probably was 2016 or so, when Bernie as an independent ran in the Democratic primary and said, okay, I am an independent, but I'm running as a Democrat. That made me start to think, okay, well, maybe he was elected as an independent in the state of Vermont initially. So maybe there is an opportunity to run outside of the duopoly and make a difference that way, even if it's just as a protest vote. A protest vote can be meaningful. So yeah, that's how I'd answer that.
Wow, Izzy.
Yeah, I think my answer is pretty similar to Carlito. Like, learn about it in school, but I think for our generation, Ross Perot, right? He was always the big name that we were kind of exposed to as a third party. We're like, first of all, why does this dude look so funny? And second of all, why is he not running in one of the two parties? So yeah, that was kind of the big exposure there for me.
Wow. All right. So I'll tell. The first time I found out that they were a third party was the first time I voted for a president at the presidential level in college. So I voted for John Kerry. He was the first and only Democrat I ever voted for at a presidential level. And when I went in there to vote for him, I saw on the ballot Green Party, Constitutional Party. What else is out there? Libertarian Party. And I was like, wait a minute. I felt cheated. I'm like, I didn't do my research enough. I don't know these other guys. I didn't know that I had other options out of John Kerry. Otherwise, I would have looked into them. So from then on, that kind of was in the back of my mind, and it might be part of the reasons why I really I didn't become political right there. Like I literally, the extent of my political knowledge was R is for rich people and D's for everybody else. Like, that's how like detailed my knowledge of politics was at that time. But later on, I became more sophisticated and progressed.